Okay. Hey, CCAR team. I am Vanessa Martin, co-founder of Tether RE. Today, we're going to be going through best practices and tips and tricks for using your Tether RE platform, making sure you're getting the most out of this member benefit. Just want you to know that I have my team on this webinar, my developers, my support staff, my tech team. They're on the call and they are manning the Q&A. So please, 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 I'm the only one that you'll see presenting today, but please know that if you type any question into that Q&A support section in your webinar, not only could you get a live response here on this webinar, but we get a report of all those questions, and anything we don't answer in our time here, we will reach out to you guys directly. So please feel free to rapid fire those. My team will get to them as fast as they can, or we'll get to you later in the day. All right, so I want to go ahead and get started. I want to make sure, I believe that you can see my screen. Lexi, if you cannot see my app, please pop on and tell me. But I believe that, oh, there we go. I got to refresh it. Hold on one second. What we're going to do today is we are going to go through tips and tricks on best practices, you guys. I want to show you guys how best to do everything you do on through Tether RE in a smooth way to make sure that you guys are using it to the best of your abilities. So give me just a second. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. All right. Give me just a second, guys. I'm having a technical difficulty. I'm going to stop sharing and see if that keeps it from working. Gotta love it, right? All right, we're trying again. All right. There we go. Let me share this. Okay, if you guys are following along and you have your Tether RE platform downloaded, just open it up. You guys can follow along right along with me. You can try these things as I'm trying them. All right, Lexi, if at any point this screen sharing stops and I keep talking, please unmute. Okay, perfect. You're the best, Lexi. Okay, so this right here is the home screen of the app. Remember, you have your app and you have your web portal. To get to the web portal, you log into tetherre.com and you sign in. And so that would be using it on your computer or through like your Chrome, Safari interface on your phone. But what I have here is the Tether RE app. Now, if for some reason you're joining into this webinar or you're rewatching it and you haven't downloaded your app at all yet, please reference the first video that is here in the library where you're viewing this. It's going to show you how to get set up, how to sign up, how to get your free access through your CCAR benefit, and reach out to us or anytime, support@tetherre.com if you need help getting started. But once you've gotten started, I just want to show you how a day in the life is going to look when you're using Tether RE. So when you open your home screen here, the first thing I recommend you do when you get a lead before you go to do a showing is to look up your person. Okay, right on the screen, you see your client verify button. When you click that button, you have the ability to toggle through a phone number, an address, or a criminal background check. Now, the easiest way to go through the process and to check everything available for someone is to just look up a phone number. Once you look up that phone number, and I'm going to just put a phone number in here so that you guys have reference. You guys can play with any phone number. Maybe you have a potential client. The more information you put in this, the more it will narrow it down. If I don't put any information in here, it's going to show me every person that's ever had this phone number. So I'm going to put this information in and I'm going to let it pull up those records for me. Now, this is your reverse phone number lookup. This is going to charge you 25 cents to look at this information. Remember, that's not part of your member benefit. So you will see those charges on your account if you do a phone number lookup. for 25 cents, an address lookup is 25 cents, and a criminal background check is $1. So you'll see here that this person has 2 different records from 2 different cities in Idaho. So I'm just going to click on one of them and show you what this 25-cent lookup looks like. There is a ton of information here, you guys. I'm going to see gender, whether or not they're deceased or not. That's important to know, right? If someone is asking you to show a house and their records show that they're deceased, that is likely a fraudulent account. Huge red flag. It's going to have date of birth. It's going to have addresses, historical, current, past, present, everything, phone numbers, relationships. These are going to be people related to that person, important for connecting, and then email records. So this is a great contact tool if you're trying to source information for reaching out. All of this information is included in that 25-cent lookup. Now, if I want to go a step further and I want to just instantly do a criminal background check, this blue criminal lookup button is going to do just that. And we recommend everyone run a criminal background check before meeting with someone in person. The other thing that is great to know is a criminal background check requires a birthday. So you'll notice if I click here, I don't have to do anything. It's just going to pull up any criminal records. If you don't know their birthday, start with the reverse phone number lookup. That's a huge pro tip. Not sure when their birthday is, start with that reverse phone number lookup. It will pull their birthday for you, and then it will populate it directly so you can just do that criminal background check. So you'll see here, this person has a few records. You get to look through those records, determine if these infractions, these issues with their criminal background are going to deter you or not from seeing this person in person. All right. If you have any questions about the buyer verify service, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Lexi, if anything is something that you'd like me to answer to the group, if it's a common question, please just unmute and ask me those. Okay, so that's my first pro tip. Before ever attempting to do a showing, meeting with someone at an open house, buyer verify, you guys. Make sure they are who they say they are. Make sure that their backgrounds check out. Now, as we all know, it is absolutely imperative that you employ all these other safety features. If somebody gives a false name that's maybe their neighbor or their coworker or their dad, they can come out completely clean on that reverse check, but still could be impersonating someone else. So it is very important that you're using Tether through the entire process so that you're able to get help if you need it during a showing. All right. So the next thing that you're going to do if you're getting ready to show a property is you're going to set up the showing for your client. So if we follow the hamburger menu, the 3 lines at the top left, you can access your showings right here from your phone. And I'm going to show you this way, and I'll show you guys on the web as well. So you just scroll down to the showings, and you'll see here that I have an active showing and I have a past showing. I can reactivate any past showings, but I've set up a little showing here to show you guys what it looks like. Now, if for some reason you wanted to restart a past showing, you just click on that blue button that says view, and it'll allow you to reactivate it, putting it into your active showings. So once I join this showing, you'll see that I have all the information right in front of me. I'm able to configure this. I can move these properties around, reorder them if I decide a different path is important, and I can see basic information about them. So this is the information, this basic property information is what your clients will see when you add them to a showing. So up here in the dropdown, this is how you add your buyer. You can add as many buyers as you want. It will populate from your phone if you choose. When you start this showing, it's going to send an invitation that says, hey, Vanessa started this showing, let's go. That's going to give them that turn-by-turn navigation. It's going to give them directions. And as they pull into that property, it's going to pop up pictures of the home, basic information about the home. Now, the other cool thing about this is your buyers will also see a screen like this and have this notes section. So as you pull into that property, it's going to pull up a note section for each one of those homes. So this is a really great tool as an agent. You're going to be able to collect that data, see what they thought about certain homes. You don't have to memorize the random things they said as you walked through that property. So pro tip is let your buyers know that this note section exists and teach them how to use it if they need help so they can leave notes that are really organized for you. Not only is this going to be helpful for you as you go to possibly show them other houses, you're going to collect that data. Okay, they only like all these large kitchens. I'm going to start showing them really open floor plans. But it's also important if that listing agent contacts you. Hey, what'd they think about the house? You don't have to make anything up. You can just go look at your notes. So this is a great tool on both sides. Okay, so when you start a showing, down here, this green button says start showing. At that point, your buyers that are listed are going to get a text message that says, hey, we've started this showing. Okay, so I purposely added a home right here where I am. So the geolocation has activated. This is what your client sees, you guys. So here's a pro tip. Down at the bottom, see that link that says Tether RE? That link is whatever you want your clients to see. And I'm going to show you in this call how to set that link. You can make it be your own custom homepage. It can be maybe your listing page, whatever that is. But your buyer is going to see that and have that pop up every single time they pull into a property. So we really recommend that you set that to something that's really beneficial to you. So super amazing. Your clients can toggle through the pictures here, like we talked about, and they can leave notes for you here. Great way to get through this process and really impress your buyers. They're going to just see this as a really cool tool. Now, how do you navigate? There's two ways to navigate once you're in a showing. If I click on my icon, the little circle that's my face, I'm going to have I'm going to have the option to either add a new buyer, or I can tell the buyer to follow me. So think about this. If I want them to follow me, I click on my face on the app. Easy little thing to remember. If I click buyer follows me, I can go all over the place and they're just going to get breadcrumbs to me. I can take them to the cute coffee shop or the daycare or the pet grooming place and kind of point things out as they follow behind me. So this can be a really great tool if you want to show them around. Now, if instead I decide, you know what, I want them to go to one of the homes, just tap on the icon on the address that you want to start with, and you can click whether you want to navigate by car, by foot, or just send the buyer to the home. Okay, I'm going to say navigate by car, and we are off and running. Now, if I were to go downstairs, get in my car and start driving, this is going to give me turn-by-turn navigation, just like any other mapping service you're used to. And that buyer is going to get those same set of instructions to get to that first home as well. Now, pay attention, bottom screen, bottom right. See that little SOS button? That's your panic button, you guys. That's available throughout this process if you need it. So we really want you to start getting used to following along screens, having this open to you, SOS button at any point. All right, when you are done with that showing, it's gonna kick me out again. When you're done with that showing, you're going to end the navigation, and I'm going to refresh my app, guys. Stand by. Are there any questions in the chat yet? I don't see any Q&A just yet. I must just be doing a really exceptional. All right, stand by. I'm going to reconnect, and then I'm going to show you. I'm going to go through some SOS features, you guys. Okay. All right. Back on it. Oh, I see a Q&A. Let me just see. So what happens when you, I love it. What happens when you punch the SOS? It's like you read my mind. Okay. So I'm just going to do it for you and show you. So if you press that SOS button while you're navigating to a property, this is going to happen. It's going to give me 30 seconds to say, hey, did you mean to call for help? Are you okay? Or do you need help? Do you see that big red box at the bottom that says press and hold for 3 seconds to get emergency services immediately dispatched? If I press and hold that for 3 seconds, it's going to escalate this and send help to my precise location. Now, for obvious reasons, I'm not going to press and hold that button because it will dispatch help to my precise location. But you can see that it's a multifaceted way to get help. If you press that SOS button and do nothing and let that 30-second timer roll out, our 24-hour safety monitoring is going to call you. And they're going to say, hey, we received an emergency alert. Are you okay? You have another chance to call it off. You also will possibly get a text message where you could also call it off. All of these are ways to make sure that you're not going to get any false alarms. You're not going to have people sent when you don't need it. But all you have to do to cancel that is just say or enter your emergency PIN. 0901 is mine. I put it in, or I say it on the phone and they're like, okay, great, have a nice day. But if I don't say that code, or I give a different incorrect code, possibly on purpose because I'm being held against my will, they will immediately dispatch emergency services to my precise location. So it's a really easy way to get help, whether you can ask for it or not. So some people will say, excuse me, what's the difference between that and calling 911? I can continue to have a conversation with my potential buyer, would-be bad guy, press this button. He knows nothing. I'm going to continue to act cool and not escalate the issue. I can then press and hold that emergency button and no one knows that I've pressed. This is a discreet way for me to get help and for them to track my location and send help immediately. So you could see that it doesn't take an active emergency to get help. If I know something bad is happening, I can press that button. If I suspect or if I fear that something bad is happening, I can get help. So this is much more sophisticated than a call to 911 that would be obvious and would give that potential bad guy the option to snatch my phone away and say, oh, false alarm. Didn't mean to call. Thank you. Great question. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and end this showing. I want to show you another little safety feature. Only I can end this showing, and I have to put my safety pin in to do it. That's another security feature. When you turn Tether RE's showing features off, you're disabling some of our features like our safety timer and the ability to press that SOS button right there in the screen. So we want to make sure it's you that turns it off. So again, very important that you know your safety pin. Don't worry, I'll remind you how to reset it if you've forgotten. Okay. Great questions. Active showings should be something that you guys are doing, I hope, a lot. At least once a week, I hope you're doing an active showing. Please reach out if you have questions about how to set up your showings or if you're having any issues. I'm going to show you a couple more features inside the showings on the web in just a second. All right, so the other pro tip that I want to give you guys is the ability to access your safety information super quickly from your app. Notice here on the left, you see profile settings right at the top. I'm going to press that. And this is just a really quick at a glance way to get to your safety settings. I can add or subtract safety contacts. I can change my PIN here, guys. Notice I can't see it because we don't want anyone to open your phone and see your PIN. That's a safety issue, but I can change it anytime on the fly. The only time you cannot change your safety PIN is during an active emergency for obvious reasons, okay? The other thing that I like to point out here is the impact alert. This is your struggle detection, and you can turn it on or off here, and you can change the sensitivity. You can make it less sensitive or more sensitive. So this is what I want to talk about now, guys. Once you set your impact alert, I encourage all of you to test it. So once I save this and I have my settings tested, I want you to play with your impact alert. I want you... Sorry, my background's taken over. You hear that? We'll turn that one off because it's annoying. But did you notice that I had the same press and hold for emergency services there? I still have that ability to get help if I need it. But let's say someone comes from behind and gets a hold of me and is trying to take me down. That movement from the phone is going to set that impact alert off. That noise is meant to be a deterrent. Okay, someone knows something is happening. What is happening? I just grabbed a hold of the wrong person, obviously. Okay, let's say you're held against your will at this point. You're not able to turn that alarm off with your PIN. Same thing. We're going to text and call. We're going to make sure you're okay. If you don't answer that phone because you can't, we're going to send help to your precise location. So this is super, super important. I really want everyone to test their sensitivity. Now, here's a pro tip. This is asking me, just in case you guys are wondering, if my sensitivity was set too high or too low, I can say yes, and I can set it to be more or less sensitive. So pro tip, you can change that sensitivity anytime. If you are doing a showing, I suggest you turn that sensitivity to be less, to be more activated, okay? Make it more, less sensitive or more sensitive on the fly. Okay, I want it to be very sensitive if I'm going in for a showing, but I don't need it to be more sensitive if I'm at a baseball game. So I would say all the time. It can be based on your activities. And again, you can turn that off if you are doing something that you know is going to be unstable. If you're going, on the Baja and you're going to be ATV riding, that impact alert may be a deterrent, but maybe you want to set that in a phone holder. And if it tossles around, you want it to alert emergency services. Remember, this can be used at any time, you guys. You do not have to be working. You do not have to be at a showing. This can be something that you use anytime, even for personal protection. Okay, so impact alert is something I really wanted to talk about, and testing that. Now, I'm gonna let you guys pop up any questions. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to mention. You'll notice here in this hamburger menu, we have an open house beta. Okay, that open house is a beta feature. We're really excited to add more and more features to that open house. People ask me all the time, well, what's the difference between the open house beta feature and a single showing? Like if I set up a showing and I just do one house. The reality is the safety features are the same, but the open house feature allows you to set the time of your open house. So if you know your open house is from 2 to 4, it's not going to set that emergency safety proximity timer until you're supposed to be leaving that property. If you do a showing, you're going to set the amount of time that you want to stay at that property. So they are similar. So I just want to address that. We're hoping to really build out some robust features based on feedback from you all. So let us know what you need and what you want in open houses. But I like to touch on that so that you see a difference. Okay. Last but not least, I promised you that we would talk about what's new and up and coming. You guys will be one of the first to know. You'll notice here on my app, if you're looking at your app, mine might look a little bit different. My safety permissions are down lower, and I have a little thing that says mileage tracking on the front of my screen. Now, you all have access to mileage tracking, and you can get to it by going here and going to your mileage tracker. But currently, your mileage tracker works automatically if you have it turned on. When you start and stop showings, it starts and stops. But we are launching a brand new mileage tracker that is extremely robust, that tracks your miles all the time. And then you decide swipe left or swipe right if it's personal or business. So we're super, super excited. I'll give you a little insider info. This app is already ready for Android. We're just waiting on one final approval from Apple, and then it will be launched to you guys. So watch for this coming soon. I'll give you a little sneak peek on my end so that you know what to expect. So this is the interface for mileage, and it's super amazing. The potential savings are at the top of the screen. You swipe left and swipe right, depending on if it's business or personal, and it's going to categorize all of this. You can change the locations if it's maybe detoured into your coffee run and you didn't want it to, even though I feel like that's business. It's very, very user-friendly, best in class, you guys, and you can export these and send them to your accountant at the end of the year. So we did the math, and you only have to track about 16 miles a month to pay for Tether RE. You guys get it for free, so this is money back, you guys. It's a no-brainer. All right. Just wanted to give you that little teaser. Okay, I am going to stop sharing for a second to show you the web portal, and I'm going to take a peek, see if there's any Q&A. There's nothing in the Q&A. My team is answering these on the fly. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen on this one. Let's see. Okay, Lexi, can you see my Tether dashboard? Awesome. Okay. All right, guys, what we're looking at here is what you see when you log on to tetherre.com. Okay, this is your web portal. So if you hear us talk about web portal in tutorial videos or in webinars, this is the web portal versus the application. Now, they talk to each other. So anything you do in the web portal is going to immediately go to your device, but there are some extra things that you can do inside this web portal that I want you guys to be aware of. All right, so first things first, I'm going to go to our profile setting, which is the little settings wheel at the top right of the screen. And I'm just going to point out a few things in this screen that I teased on a little bit earlier. First things first, this profile photo that you see here, that's what you saw on the map. So this first circular photo, that's what your clients are going to see, your buyers are going to see as you're traveling on the map. So make sure you understand that's going to be forward facing. Now, remember I told you that on the phone, you can change your password or your safety PIN, but you can't see it? Here in the web portal, because it's behind a password protected screen, you can see it. So if you just want to go and view it and say, okay, I think it was the one I always say, but I just want to double check, just go take a peek here. You can see it's visible and you can change it here as well. All right. These two things you can only do in the web portal. So if you're following along at home, try this, okay? Log into your tetherre.com portal. And I want you to take a look at this background photo. This is what is visible behind on your app when you open your app. And when you send the app as an invitation to your new buyers, this is what they're going to see as well. So we recommend you put your information, put your headshot, put your favorite branding. This is going to make it look like it's your app, not Tether RE's app. So this is an amazing productivity tool. Now, to add a new photo, you just click this little edit button at the bottom of the screen. It'll pull it up, and there's a cropping tool, which is super cool, that my amazing team made for you all with some feedback from agents. So just go ahead and play with this. Play with a logo or a photo that looks great. It'll give you a preview here of what it will look like so you know it's forward facing. And then remember I told you about that little custom link? This is where you change it. You can change this to anything you want. Any homepage, any landing page. It can be changed as many times as you want if you want to do something seasonally or offer a promo. This is a really cool feature to add. And this is going to be at the bottom of that property data every time your buyer pulls into a different property. So super, super cool feature. Do not sleep on this one. Pro tip. Okay. Follow along as I go into the client verify in your web portal. Now, remember I showed you how to do a client verification. You can do that all from your phone. We know that speed to lead is important. So if you're sitting in your car, you can run numbers, you can run addresses, you can do criminal background checks. But the cool thing about this is historically, every lookup you've ever done is going to be saved inside your client verification tab on the web portal. So you can go back and reference these, open them up, view them. If you need to share them with another member of your team because maybe possibly he contacted her after you said no, this is something that you can access anytime. Okay, so this is a really great feature to be able to come back to this information and review anything that you've already looked up. Now, showings, much like on the app, everything is going to be listed. And if you click on this information, it's going to allow you to see the route, the information about the home. And here is where you can override our default safety timer. Okay. If you do not enter times that you plan to be at showings, it's going to default to a 45-minute timer. And after 45 minutes, we're going to text and call and make sure you're okay. Hey, we noticed you're staying at that property a little bit long. Is everything okay? You can, it's going to pop up a screen on your phone first before those texts or calls come in, and you can just put in your safety pin and get 15 minutes longer. So it's like a snooze. But having that safety timer activated at all times is very important. Now, let's say I know I'm going to be at a property for less time or maybe more time. This is where you can change that. I can change this to 2 hours. If it's an open house, that may be appropriate. Or I can go all the way. Let's say I'm only going to be there 30 minutes. So I really want to make sure that I'm protected in that time. Set that duration here, and that is going to override that 45-minute automatic timer in Tether RE. Okay, makes sense. Here's your custom link again. Here are your buyers that are going to get the information. And all of my properties are listed here with the ability to drag and drop and reorder those. Pro tip, because that's what this webinar is all about. Take a look up here. It says route info, 19 miles, 35 minutes. I can play with the way that I navigate here. Okay, that's going to take 45 minutes if I do it that way. What if I do this house first? Okay, that's 35 minutes. So this actually is going to date me, but this takes me back to my MapQuest days. You can create optimal routing by using this. Make sure you're getting to those properties. You can do it by time, or you can take a look at the map, and it's going to give you a really good visual of that map, that route of those showings. So this is a great way to start your showings here in the web portal because it just has more robust features to take a look at. Remember also, you can give access to this to your team. And if you have an assistant, they can set your showings up for you, and it's automatically going to be loaded on your phone for you to use in the field. All right. Now, the client information here, obviously, I don't have real clients. I'm not an active agent. All of your clients are going to be listed here. You can click on those clients to see all the showings they've ever done. You can click on the showings to see any notes that they've ever written. So really great way to come back and reference that information. And then last but not least, on the historical data, your mileage and expenses are going to be tracked here on the web, and you have the ability to generate a report. So this is where you're going to come when you're ready to submit your mileage reports to your accountant. So super slick, easy way to get to all of your historical data, all your saved data right in one setting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. I'm going to go over a couple other just key tricks and tips that I want you guys to have in your toolbox that I want you to be able to reference here. The first one, you guys, is our tutorial videos. All right. You can access your tutorial videos right from the app or through our, excuse me, our website at tetherre.com. We're on YouTube, you guys. We're updating tutorial videos all the time. We'll make sure to, hey, Lexi, can you throw our YouTube tutorial page in the chat for me, please? And you guys can search it easily as well, but all of that information is super helpful. If you ever just want to dive into one little feature and you're curious about, you know, how do I reset my profile? How do I change my impact alert? There are really short videos that you can reference at any time. As we get new features and we update our features, we're going to add new videos. So we're really excited for that new mileage tracking feature to go live. We'll be getting a video out as soon as that launches. And we will also send an email to your leadership that can be sent out because you guys will be the first to know. We're super excited about it. The other thing that I want you all to have access to is my team. Okay. I know you can't see any of them, but they are in the background right now with us. You can access our tech support info, anything that you need through our email address, support@tetherre.com. Lexi, if you'd throw up our support email and phone number, that would be amazing. Our team is absolutely dedicated to making sure that you guys are able to use Tether RE smoothly, seamlessly, so that you can do what you do best, which is show properties. Oh, she can't add anything to chat because she's not leadership. So if any of the CCAR team is able to post, you can just do our email, support@tetherre.com. And if anyone wants to get a hold of us via the phone, if you go to tetherre.com, it's going to have our phone number as well. So the biggest thing though is, guys, we don't want you guys to have to worry about any user questions or issues. We want you to be very fluent so that you can just do your job. We can make sure that you are focusing on your clients and that we're running the productivity and the safety in the background. So we really, really, really appreciate you guys logging in. We appreciate the time. The feedback that we've gotten has been amazing. Please reach out to us also if you have questions or feedback. And if you have any sort of testimonial you'd like to share with us, we would love the opportunity to highlight any stories and get you a little extra press. So reach out to us if you have anything like that you want to share. All right, with that, I'm going to check the Q&A one time. Oh, yes. Gina asked, will we send the recording? Yes, the recording is going to be posted on the CCAR Tether landing page, which your team can add to the chat. It's the page that you likely went to sign up. And then I will ask if we can get an email sent out as well that has the recording link so that we can, there you go. Bree just sent the landing page. We'll get it uploaded there. But then we'll put together a fun little email as well for anyone that could have missed it or wants to reference it so you guys can follow back along. It's super helpful to pull it open on your own phone and rewatch and just do a mock showing. Put in your neighbor's address. Play around with it, you guys. We're really excited to see you in it and using it and knowing you're protected. All right. Well, with that, we're going to go ahead and close for the day. We look forward to our next webinar. We'll be working with your team to figure out a calendar for our next events. And until then, stay safe. Thanks, everyone.